Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to day 8 of the 30-day email breakdown challenge. So, I'm Leonard. So, today I'll be breaking down one of the emails from the top entrepreneurs in the world, Dan Locke. And I'm sure you know Dan Locke, right? So, he's pretty famous in today's context. And if you're not sure, just click on the link below to check his website out, and maybe you can learn more about him and his products. Yep. So without further ado, let's dive into today's email breakdown. So let's let's start now. So subject line: you the next Netflix in your niche. So I know that this is a we know that this is a question that he's creating, but let's dive in a little bit more into this subject line. And if and you can and you will notice that he's actually asking another question. So he's asking so basically he's asking a question and he's raising another curiosity to make you ask another question. So what do you mean? So what do you mean that I'm the Netflix in my niche? So instead of just posing this one question, he actually asked another question behind the back of his reader's mind. So let's go on to the main copy. So in the summer of 1997, Mark and Reed founded a little movie rental company called Netflix. They they would send customers DVDs by snail mail, and when a customer finished watching the DVD, they would send it back in the envelope provided. So this immediately, right? He's starting off by in the summer of 1997. So this immediately talk about immediately state that he's give his readers a heads up that he's telling a historical story now. So and this few sentence, right, it gives the reader a setup that give them a little background, a little context about what he's gonna talk about, so that the readers don't get lost halfway through the storytelling. So okay, let's move on. 3 years later, they abandoned the pay by rent model after introducing the monthly subscription. In 2000, they met with Blockbuster's CEO with an offer to buy Netflix for 50 million. Blockbuster CEO smiled, laughed, and declined his offer. As DVD players became more affordable for consumers, their rental business exploded. Ironically, uh, Netflix became so successful, Blockbuster could no longer compete and filed for bankruptcy. So notice here that Blockbuster's CEO smiled, laughed, and declined their offer. So this is uh, stating the conflict uh, for Netflix, the struggle that they are facing at that point in 2000. So by that year, and then okay, so ironically, yeah, so later on, Blockbusters filed for bankruptcy because he can't compete with Netflix. And by that year, which is 2010, Netflix Australia base hit 20 million users, and in 2014 and 2015 they expanded to reach the European and Australian markets. In 2020, with everyone stuck at home because of the pandemic, they added 37 million subscribers for a total of over 220 million subscribers. Today's Netflix is worth 30 over billion and is one of the best performing stocks in the US stock exchange. So he's talking about the struggle right here, and he immediately jumped to the comeback and the achievement that Netflix have achieved over this decade or so. So notice here he's talking about a struggle and then the comeback, and he's missing an element that he purposely leave out, intentionally left it out. So we'll come to that later. So Netflix founder saw huge potential in their business from the start, and although they experienced ups and downs like any business, they have cornered the streaming market and continue to grow. So he's giving more context here, saying about how Netflix managed to break through and achieve the kind of achievement they've achieved. Yeah. So the comeback. And this is also to end the story smoothly. So instead of just saying story achievement and then immediately transition to the product, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense there. So by giving a little bit more of the context right here, then the reader can absorb the knowledge a little bit more, and it makes sense when it transit to the offering, to the solution offering. Yep. So you see, Leonard, so this is using the use of personalization. So this is one thing that you can use, but do note that don't overuse this because it might annoy your or might annoy your readers, or maybe because if you are using this kind of personalization, right, it means that you are saying things that are important. So if you are overusing it, right, means nothing is important, right? So if you are selling, this relates to saying that if you are selling to if you are selling to everyone, you are selling to no one, because this is not really targeted. It's just like you reading a book, right? Just imagine you highlighting everything, so nothing is highlighted. So everything is highlighted, but nothing is focused on, right? Since everything is highlighted, so don't overuse personalization in your emails. All right, so it takes a special kind of thinking. So a special kind of thinking. Note that he both here means he's trying to highlight the solution here, the secret sauce between Netflix struggle to the comeback. So to achieve the success Netflix has experienced, and it doesn't matter what your niche is, if you apply this thinking to your business, you will look at business in a completely different way. You will overcome roadblocks and obstacles and generate more revenue and profit. So he's stating, as I said, he's stating what's missing between Netflix failure and the success, which is the solution, which is what I said right here. What's missing between the struggle and the achievement, which is the secret sauce, which is a special kind of thinking. So this special kind of thinking, this few sentence, right, also further explain the hope. So note that the hope, it it says the you the next Netflix in your niche. So this is a little bit confusing, but in a way that it raised another question, and it's it answered the question over here. So what kind of Netflix, so if you are the reader, right, you might be having questions like what kind of Netflix in my niche. So like how, what traits I I'm having like Netflix. So this is how, a special kind of thinking. Yep. And this is why I created the program, how to unlock your entrepreneurial or thinking. So this is also the solution that he's providing. And I and all high level entrepreneurs I know think this way, and now you can too. When you grab your copy of How to Unlock Your Entrepreneur Thinking, you'll get 9 of my best closely guarded secrets where you will discover blah blah blah. So there's bullets over here. So it's a great way to explain your products. But when it comes to email, right, here comes the question. So you must ask yourself, will my audience read it? So which part of the email sequence they are at that need them to read this? Like which part of the email sequence are they at that they will read bullets like this? Are they nearing to the end where they need really they need more logical or information to make the buying decision, or are they at the start of the marketing of the email sequence where they just need story to break their false belief? So you must consider this carefully. It's at the front, right, where you are breaking false belief, you doesn't need bullets like this, because uh you you sound very hard selling. You sound too hard selling to them. So be careful on this. Note where your this email falls into in your sequence and apply it accordingly. So yep. So if you have ever wanted a powerful entrepreneur mindset program, this is it. Click here to unlock your entrepreneur thinking today. So yep, then locking of closing. Then the framework he used here is pretty obvious as I was going analyzing it along the way. So the framework he used here is how Netflix face their failure when blockbusters reject their offer, their 50 million offer, and they managed to come back using a special kind of thinking, but he didn't review it immediately, but instead he talked about the comeback, the achievement that they have, and then they move on to the secret sauce to reach the comeback. So it's kind of like, so for example, mm, the framework that Kevin Rogers always use, the 60-second sales hook. The first one is identity, struggles, discovery, and results. So so identity is pretty straightforward. It's like, hi, I'm Leonard. So that doesn't matter because there's a introduction over here that already state the identity. So and then the struggle will be Blockbuster decline their offer, and then the discovery is a special kind of thinking, and then the results is by that year of 2010, or Netflix subscriber base hit 20 million. But instead of going it one by one, or going from struggle to discovery to results, he pulled out discovery and put it at the back. So it's like the struggle, results, and discovery at the end. So it's kind of like picking up the thing and put it at the back. Yep. So that works as well, as long as the flow is correct. It makes sense. So two things good about this email that I like about this email is that it has a clear explanation and timeline of the success of Netflix. So he's not really the success of Netflix, but the entire story. So he's saying 1997, and then 2000, 2010. He's going accordingly. He's not jumping here and there, so it makes a reader progress smoothly. Yeah. And then the second thing I like about this email is it give a little bit more context before reaching the transition. So if you were to look here, right, uh, if you just immediately jump from this sentence to this sentence, it will be totally, it will have a some disconnection right here. So let's see. Today Netflix is worth 30 over billion and is one of the best performing stocks in the US stock exchange. You see, Leonard, it takes, so you see, uh I mean, it doesn't really have a huge impact to jump here to here, but it is a lot more better to include these three sentence, right? So it doesn't create a little gap there. Yep. So I think these three sentence, he made use of it pretty well by connecting the dots together, so that the transition will make more sense. Okay, so one area of improvement that I think that he should make is presence of the redundancy. So I think that there's quite a little bit of redundancy here. So for example, in 2000, so he already said that 3 years later they abandoned the pay parental model after introducing the monthly subscription. So when, so the year here is 1997, and 3 years later is 2000. So it doesn't make sense to have this one or this one. So if he were to remove this, it will make more sense because it's at the same timeline. He doesn't need this in 2000. And if he were to remove this, and then maybe he can put this over here. So it's like in 2000 they abandoned and they meet the blockbuster CEO. Yep. So here I think it's repetitive, is redundant. And also another example is I and all high. Okay, there's a disconnection here also. So I don't think this statement is needed. And also if you look carefully, right, this is why I created the program How to Unlock Your Entrepreneur Thinking. I and all high level entrepreneur I know think this way. So it's a little bit of a disconnection here. So maybe he can say something like, this is why I created a program How to Unlock Your Entrepreneur Thinking. And in this training you'll get of my best closely guarded secrets where you will discover da, 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 da. Yep, so this three sentence doesn't really matter. He can remove it actually. Yep. So that's just my opinion. And third example of presence of redundancy is the product details. So as I said, depending on which part of the email sequence you are at, sometimes you don't need bullets like this in your emails because it's mostly for for the sales page work, the work of the sales page. Yep. So just be careful of that in your business too. So that's just my personal opinion. So if you have uh any feedback or comment about my my opinion, just feel free to leave them down in a comment section below. And as usual, if you would like to get a copy of this PDF, just click on the link below in the description or box, and you get a link there. Yep. And right, that's all for today's email breakdown. I hope you like it. If you like it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you get notified when the next video is uploaded. Right, see you.